Tonight, a Troy University former band director receives a national award.
Plus, some Troy students show off their talents to have a chance in the limelight. Stay tuned. Troy TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition Digital Production Center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for March 23rd, 2012. I'm Christina Cook.
And I'm Courtney Steele. Thank you for joining us this evening. Director of Bands Emeritus at Troy University, Dr. Johnny Long, has been honored by the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. Dr. Long is one of the winners of this year's Stephen Sondheim Inspirational Teacher Awards. As a recipient, Long will receive a $10,000 cash reward. Teachers are selected for their exceptional influence on students, and only former students can nominate candidates for the award. 17 of Dr. Long's former students from Robert E. Lee High School in Montgomery and Troy University submitted letters of nomination. The Sondheim Award marks the second major honor for Long this month. Earlier in March, he was named an honorary life member of the American Bandmasters Association, one of only 2 living bandmasters to hold this distinction.
The next big musical talent will be walking around the Troy campus, and Troy Music Industries Programs wants to find out. Last night, they held auditions to see what musical act will their chance be in the limelight. Hernan Diaz has the story.
As a well-known reality says, it is time to face the music, and Troy really did. The limelight auditions were witnessed on Tuesday and Thursday night of the talent that Troy University students had to offer on the search for the next musical sensation. Ilium Records, a student-run record label looking for the next best superstar, plays host to this annual event that will take the winners on a tour around the state of Alabama.
The prize this year, in previous years, they've gotten to record a single with Ilium Records, but this year we're actually going on tour. We're doing a show in Troy, Montgomery, and Birmingham. So whoever wins will actually go on tour with us.
And as the audition process goes on, those auditioning tell us their thoughts.
I'm here because my best friend kind of persuaded me to, and also music is a huge part of my life, and I like singing. I'm a little bit nervous, but I think I'm going to do all right. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I've never auditioned for anything before. I've only performed. So.
But what do they think will happen if they get to win?
Definitely have some bragging rights, and it'll just be something that'll make me really happy and be really excited to be able to experience that. My parents would be very proud, so would all the rest of my family, and I would gain a huge confidence in my own personal life.
Hernan Diaz, Troy TrojanVision News.
No date has been set for the start of the 3-city tour for the Limelight winner, but it's expected to take place later on this semester.
Troy's Johnson Center for the Arts will open a new exhibit with the reception this Sunday at the center. The new exhibit, The 4 Painters, will officially open at a reception Sunday afternoon at the Johnson Center for the Arts. More than 40 works of art are on display from artists Richard Mills, George Taylor, Clark Walter, and John Wagon. The exhibit, which will run through April 28th, will showcase a variety of styles from landscapes to portraits to abstracts.
We have 4 painters, which are 4 artists from Montgomery, both really talented and have extreme medium. And at that time, we'll just celebrate the artists and all of their pieces that they have on display.
The reception will be Sunday from 2 until 4. The exhibit is open Wednesday through Friday from 10 until 5 and on Saturday from 10 until 3. Usually things like table manners are taught before someone gets to college.
Well, that is true, but not all students know the ins and outs of proper dining etiquette. So, one organization on campus tried to help out with a lesson and some food. Justin Carroll has the story.
Thursday night, the Hall School of Journalism's Communications Club held an etiquette dinner in the Trojan Dining Civic Room. This event gave students the opportunity to learn how to conduct themselves socially during a formal dinner event. Club President Shaquille Mars says this event is just another chance for students to develop competent skills in the business world.
We decided to do something that can help students after they graduate, so we decided to have an etiquette dinner to help them prepare themselves for after graduation, because many employers want us to have proper etiquette in any situation.
Students were learning etiquette while eating a 5-course meal, including dessert.
Many people learn how to properly, eat with a salad fork, which fork to use first, which spoon you supposed to use for your spoon that you're supposed to use for soup and things like that. So it helped them out tremendously.
Marsh feels that every Troy student should be required to attend at least one etiquette dinner while they're in college.
Well, I think everyone should at least attend one etiquette dinner throughout their college career, because many people do not know how to eat properly at a formal function. So if they just attend one to teach them how to do that, it will help them out.
Dustin Carroll, Troy, TrojanVision News.
If any students are interested in becoming a part of the Communications Club, they can attend the next meeting on April 3rd at 5:30 in Wallace Room 107.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Montgomery, a federal appeals court has granted a stay of execution for an Alabama man who is set to die next week in a 1982 murder-for-hire case. Today, the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals postponed the execution of Thomas Douglas Arthur until further action of the court.
In Birmingham, a former Children's Hospital of Alabama employee has been sentenced to nearly 6 years in prison on a child pornography charge. David Burton pleaded guilty in January to charges that he collected images of children under the age of 12 who were engaged in sexually explicit content.
In Vance, a new automotive supplier is breaking ground on a plant that will bring 150 jobs to Tuscaloosa County. The Michigan-based Lear Corporation was scheduled to hold an event this morning at the new site near the Mercedes-Benz plant. Lear makes automotive seating and electrical systems.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the Trojan softball team will be heating up into conference action at home this weekend against the number 8 ranked team. Dustin Carroll will be in next with the sports.
But first, the toxicology results are in from the case of Whitney Houston's death. We will see what they would determine her cause of death was when we return.
React to what killed Whitney Houston. I'm Teresa Garcia in Los Angeles. That story ahead.
If you can learn one thing in life, especially if you go into business, it's how to communicate and how to work with others. And I do think Troy taught me that.
Troy reaches out to people who they see their commitment to public service.
Troy just attracts students that want to give back to the community, that want to give back all across the world.
We want to educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, the body to act. We want to enable our students to go out into this world and make a difference.
Troy University, in class, online, within reach. Troy.edu.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we go to Christina Cook at the Global News Desk. Christina?
Thanks, Courtney. Whitney Houston's family members are expressing their sadness over the late singer's toxicology results. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office says the superstar died from an accidental drowning caused in part by cocaine use. Teresa Garcia reports from Los Angeles.
The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office confirms drugs did play a role in Whitney Houston's death.
Cocaine use indicated an acute use, and it appeared that the cocaine had been used in the time period just probably immediately prior to her collapse in the bathtub at the hotel.
Houston's body was discovered in the bathtub of her Beverly Hills hotel room last month, the day before the Grammy Awards. The coroner's office says the superstar was alive when she first went underwater, but drowned because of heart problems and chronic drug use.
Chances are, had she not had the pre-existing heart disease and cocaine use, she may not have drowned.
The coroner's report saddens fans who have watched Houston battle drugs for years.
She was so beautiful, and she just got into drugs, and just, it tears a person's heart out.
We saw her last concert in Vienna, and it wasn't that Whitney Houston that I used to know when she was young.
The toxicology report also found low levels of marijuana and other prescription drugs in the 48-year-old's system, but not enough to kill her.
Though I try to resist.
A Houston family spokesperson says they are saddened to hear the toxicology results, but relieved to have closure. Teresa Garcia, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The police chief and prosecutor who investigated the shooting of an unarmed Florida teenager have stepped down amid growing outrage. Demonstrators rallied for justice last night, and now the case of Trayvon Martin is about to get attention from Congress. Susan McGinnis has the latest from Washington.
No justice! No
Protesters chanted for justice as thousands packed a Florida park demanding action for an unarmed teenager killed by a neighborhood watchman.
You want an arrest?
They're calling for the prosecution of George Zimmerman. He claims he shot Trayvon Martin in self-defense. The 17-year-old was killed while visiting his family in Sanford last month.
He didn't deserve to die. Yeah. And I pledge I will not let my son die in vain.
Zimmerman was never arrested, and there are questions about whether or not race played a role in the investigation.
Enough is enough. We are tired of going to jail for nothing and others going home for something.
The congresswoman representing Sanford, Florida, said Martin's case will be part of a hate crime hearing on Capitol Hill next week. Mounting pressure forced Sanford's police chief to step down temporarily.
I do this in the hopes of restoring some semblance of calm to the city, which has been in turmoil.
CBS News has learned the suspect was interviewed the night of the shooting, and sources say evidence supported Zimmerman's claim of self-defense. But some Sanford residents say the case was mishandled.
We just wanted to come out and show support to the family and show unity in the community to try to make right an injustice.
The Justice Department and FBI are also investigating, and Zimmerman could still face charges. Susan McGinnis, CBS News.
The U.S. Army sergeant suspected of slaughtering 17 unarmed Afghan civilians has now been formally charged with premeditated murder. Tara Mergener has the latest from Washington, D.C. on what could be a very lengthy legal process.
Murder charges were read to Army Staff Sergeant Robert Bales at the military prison in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. The 38-year-old soldier is accused of killing 17 Afghan civilians during a shooting rampage in 2 villages.
My first reaction to all of this is prove it.
Bales' civilian defense attorney John Henry Brown believes the government will have a tough time winning its case.
There is no crime scene, there's no CSI stuff, there's no DNA, there's no fingerprints.
Brown is also promising to make his client's mental state an issue during trial. He says Bales was involved in 9 roadside bombings during 4 combat tours and suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder.
What he's gone through, which just very difficult for me to even listen to.
Defense Secretary Leon Panetta has said the decorated combat veteran could face the death penalty if convicted, but the U.S. military has not executed a service member since 1961. Afghan officials have asked for a role in the criminal proceedings, but it's unclear what that would be. Many Kandahar residents say Bales should have never been taken out of Afghanistan. This man is demanding the death penalty. He says Bales should be hanged according to Islamic law. It could be months before Bales faces his first public hearing. Tara Mergener for CBS News, Washington.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, including a story about an 800-pound paper airplane, you can tune in to TrojanVision Global News right here after the nightly news. Now, back to you, Courtney.
And thank you, Christine. And now Dustin Carroll joins us with a look at sports. So Dustin, the Trojan softball team is going to be having a really big series this weekend here at home.
That's right, Courtney. They have a big series this weekend, but first I want to talk about baseball, and I'll get into that right now. After sending the Crimson Tide packing back to the capstone with a 9-0 defeat Tuesday, the Troy baseball team is ready to hit the road and jump back into Sun Belt play this weekend when they take on Arkansas Little Rock. And first baseman Logan Pierce will look to take his 9-game hitting streak into Hot Springs, while senior Tyler Ray will be looking to bounce back from last Friday night's loss to South Alabama. The Hoover, Alabama native is currently the winningest active pitcher in the NCAA with 29 career victories.
And as head coach Bobby Pierce tells us, the other Trojans in the Sun Belt are a scrappy bunch.
Place for us to go and play, or it has been historically, a real tough, hard-nosed type team. They're on the rise in our league. They're always kind of really looking forward to games like this. We've got to meet that challenge. That's what we've got to do.
Ray needs just 6 more victories to set Troy and Sun Belt Conference career records. Tonight's game is set for 6 p.m. start, while Saturday's first pitch is scheduled for 7 p.m. on the Sun Belt Network, and Sunday's finale will start at 1 p.m. After sending the Auburn Tigers back to Lee County Wednesday night with an impressive 7-2 win over the 21st ranked SEC squad, the Trojans may have an even bigger challenge this weekend when they take on the number 8 ranked University of Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns. The Raging Cajuns entered this weekend's contest with one of the most powerful offenses in the country. Lafayette has a team batting average of .365 and are currently undefeated with a 28-0 record. And as Coach Melody Davis says, Lafayette's record has not been because of lightweight competition.
They're not undefeated because they played a soft schedule. They played going out to the West Coast, played some really big teams, some talented teams, and we know we're going to have a dogfight, and we're going to have to battle all weekend.
Saturday's game will be a doubleheader with Game 1 starting at 1 and Game 2 following immediately after, with Sunday's first pitch starting at 1 o'clock. Wednesday's victory over Auburn was Coach Melly Davis' 725th career victory at the helm of the Troy softball program. The women's tennis team will be back in action this weekend, coming off a 5-2 victory over Jack State on Wednesday. They'll be facing another in-state foe in UAB Blazers at home on Sunday. The Troy women have now won 7 of their last 9 matches and are 7-6 on the year. The Blazers are 5-7 this season, have also faced Jack State recently and swept the Gamecocks 7-0. UAB lost their last outing, but the Trojans are on a 3-game win streak and have only lost once at home. They'll look to improve on their win streak and beat another in-state rival when they face UAB Sunday at noon. The search for a new defensive coach is over after head coach Larry Blakeney announced Thursday that Julius Brown will take over as the new quarterback coach. Brown spent the last 3 years at Boise State as director of player personnel. Prior to that, Brown served 2 years as an offensive graduate assistant for the Broncos. The Stockton, California native was a 4-year letterman at Boise State from 2000 to 2003. Troy will also make a couple more changes on the defensive side of the ball as Randy Butler will coach the entire defensive line, and defensive coordinator Jeremy Roll will handle safety responsibilities. Troy will hold its annual T-Day game Saturday, March the 31st at 2 p.m. Admission will be free for the game. Well, Courtney, Christina, hopefully the changes on defense, this coaching changes on defense this upcoming year will help improve the defense's performance on the field. I know a lot of people were upset with last year's defensive output, so hopefully this year will be different.
Exactly. You know, we only want to get better from here.
That's right.
Thank you, Dustin.
Thanks, Dustin. Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, there's still time for you to be a part of Troy's 125th birthday celebration cookbook. Find out how in today's edition of Trojan Talk.
Plus, Pike County saw some pretty severe weather earlier this morning. So, Tiffany, is the worst over, or should we brace ourselves for some more?
The worst part has moved out of our area, but I'll let you know next in weather whether all of it's out of our area or not next in weather.
Hi, I'm Mia Hamm. As a professional soccer player, I know how rewarding sports can be and how quickly injuries happen. So I've teamed up with the American Association of Orthodontists to ask athletes to play it safe. With my years of training, I know what it takes to become an expert, and orthodontists do too. They're the experts who help people obtain healthy, beautiful smiles. Wear mouthguards, face masks, and helmets to prevent injuries. Keep smiling and visit braces.org.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education.
Right up here.
So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour
Lights there, darks there.
to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Find out how you can live united for education. Give, advocate, volunteer. Go to liveunited.org.
Do you wear this?
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now, Tiffany Lester joins with a look at weather.
Well, Tiffany, we've been experiencing some pretty crazy weather. We had a tornado warning. What can we expect for the weekend and the rest of the week?
We actually saw a tornado drop down in the Troy area, which was very scary. Heavy rains in our area. The roads were almost flooded. It was scary if you were on the road. But those showers should be moving out of our way, as right now it's a little sunnier outside, much more dry. And I'll get into that later. First, let's take a look at our TrojanVision campus snapshot, where we look at the beautiful Bibb Graves quad and see that there is no more rain and the skies have lightened up just a little bit. As we take a look at our current conditions, it is still mostly cloudy. The temperature is at about 70 degrees, dew point 66 degree, a high humidity with 88%, the barometer at 30, but it is steady. Winds gusting from 8 to 17 miles per hour. For today's statistics, the high was 79, the low was 59. About a little over half an inch of rain. The sun rose at 6:42 and will set at 6:58. As we take a look at temperatures from around the state, we see that all throughout Alabama it is overcast, mostly cloudy throughout, except for Huntsville, Birmingham. They're seeing those higher temperatures. The sun is shining there more. Have 81 in Huntsville and Birmingham, 76, and the temperature decreases as you head more south. Across the southeast, you see that Florida is still in those 80 degrees. As you get into Georgia, 60s, but still 80s in the Carolinas. But in our area, we're seeing the high to low 70s in Alabama. As you take a look across the United States, the temperatures cool down slightly, 68, and then go back to 70, and then there's just 60s. And up there you see the blue, the 40-degree temperatures, 30-degree temperatures freezing, so it's very cold there. As you take a look at our current surface map, there's a stationary front moving, so it's keeping those temperatures, those warmer temperatures, just in the central part of the United States. There is that low-pressure system moving, and there's a cold front, which is sweeping all that rain out of our area. As I said earlier, it's parts of Florida and Georgia are seeing that rain still, but the majority is out of Alabama. But for the next 12 hours, you should still be aware, just in case there is a possible chance of thunderstorms. For precipitation forecast, we should be seeing about another half inch of rain over the next 48 hours. For Saturday's forecast, the rain should be out of our area, but there is a 20% chance of rain, but it is covering the Great Lakes area and parts of the southeast all the way to the northeastern coast. As you take a look at Sunday's forecast, it should be completely out of our area, except for Florida, but Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi is very clear all throughout the central part of the United States as well. For Monday, it should be completely gone in the entire eastern half of the United States, but the rain is coming back to the Rocky area, the Rockies. And on Tuesday, it should be moving northeast and just staying up north and going all the way into Texas. So just about half an inch of chance of rain. For tonight's forecast, we still see that scattered thunderstorm chance. It should be about 20%, mostly cloudy. Winds coming from the south-southwest at 7 miles per hour with a low of 61. And tomorrow's forecast, mostly sunny skies. It's a very warm but windy day. Winds coming from the west at 11 miles per hour with a high of 81. For the 4-day forecast, we see that Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, it is mostly sunny skies all throughout the weekend and going into the start of the week, with the highs ranging from 81 on Saturday going up to 86 on Tuesday. So it will be a very warm weekend and start to the week.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. We're looking forward to that.
Good news.
Yep, thanks,
Thank you.
Tiffany.
Thank you.